After a terrible 3-14 2022 season for the Chicago Bears, they found themselves with the number 1 pick in the NFL draft. Thanks to Coach Lovie Smith, who chose to beat the Indianapolis Colts Week 17 instead of tanking for the number 1 overall draft pick. Chicago Bears GM Ryan Poles, who spent his first year in office tearing down the Ryan Pace Matt Nagy roster, which was a pricey, aging roster with veterans like Akeem Hicks, Khalil Mack, Danny Trevathan, and Robert Quinn. And after a rocky offseason of negotiations, the Bears decided to trade away Roquan Smith as well for a second-round pick. One of the first moves of the 2023 offseason was the team president. After decades of being one of the heads in the front office, Ted Phelps decided to step down. Chicago Bears spent no time in hiring new team president and CEO Kevin Warren, who set his eyes and sole purpose on relocating Soldier Field to Arlington Heights. He said, "It's an exciting sight. I've walked it, and it feels right, but now is really where the work begins." Even though most fans don't agree with the move from Chicago, almost all fans definitely want a new stadium. During the 2023 NFL Draft Combine, there were plenty of speculation about the Chicago Bears and what they would be doing with the number 1 overall pick. Will they trade it? Or will they trade Justin Fields to go after a young rookie quarterback like Bryce Young or CJ Stroud to be the new face of the franchise? Ultimately, at the end of the combine, the Bears chose to make their first huge move of the offseason and traded the number 1 overall pick to Carolina for the number 9 overall pick and the number 1 overall pick in the 2024 draft, and in the 2025 draft, a 2nd overall pick, along with star receiver DJ Moore. To trade back and still be in the top 10 of the upcoming draft while requiring future early draft picks and a proven number 1 receiver was a massive win for the Chicago Bears and QB Justin Fields, who finally gets a top receiver who throughout his first years in the NFL amassed over 5,200 yards. Pairing him with Darnell Mooney, Chase Claypool, and Cole Kmet will be a big win for Justin Fields and his offense moving forward. When free agency started, some of the key moves the Chicago Bears made were early, acquiring linebacker TJ Edwards from the Philadelphia Eagles on a 3-year deal worth $17 million, which was a great value for a high-level linebacker who took less money to play for his hometown team. Bears also added 2-time Pro Bowl linebacker Tremaine Edmonds from the Buffalo Bills. Adding those two with Jack Sanborn, who looked like a steal from the 2022 NFL Draft, going as an undrafted free agent, made one of the weak spots of the Chicago Bears defense into probably their best position group. Bears added more power to that defense, especially the defensive line, signing D-tackle Andrew Billings, a good run stopper up the middle. Former Titans defensive end DeMarcus Walker, who could also play the 3 technique. Walker is coming off a career year, totaling 7 sacks, something the Chicago Bears desperately needed in 2023 as they ranked 29th in sacks, and with the team leader being rookie safety Jaquan Brisker with 4. Offensive guard Nate Davis was the only huge signing the Chicago Bears made for the offensive line so far this offseason. Davis helped open holes for Derrick Henry over the last few years, and the Chicago Bears hope he could continue the same in Chicago. Former Packers tight end Robert Tonyan, who is a good receiver tight end, will play second string to Cole Kmet, giving the Bears a really good tight end duo. Chicago Bears lost another captain, this time on the offensive side of the ball. Running back David Montgomery, a hard-nosed runner, decided to sign a multi-year deal with the Detroit Lions. Not too long after, the Chicago Bears decided to sign running back D'Onta Foreman from the Carolina Panthers, who was coming off a career year. Throughout the first month of free agency, the Chicago Bears added key players and also did a good job adding depth at positions of need. Next for the Chicago Bears is the 2023 NFL Draft, which starts April 27th this month. A team with still a few holes to fill, Ryan Poles will be tasked with finding the best available players to fill those positions. Do you draft the best available? If Jalen Carter is at pick number 9, do you take him? Do you draft for needs and go with tackle Paris Johnson Jr. out of The Ohio State? Do you trade back and gather more picks? Or do you draft to put the best playmakers around your young dynamic quarterback, even if it costs you a couple draft picks? Well, I've done a 2023 mock draft for the Chicago Bears. I chose that the 2023 season was going to be putting weapons around Justin Fields for him to reach his full potential, even if it does cost a few picks. Fields' first 2 years in the league, he was surrounded by minimum talent. We've seen him use his legs and racked up 563 yards and 8 touchdowns rushing. We've also seen flashes at how great his arm could be. Other times we've seen him hold on to the ball too long because receivers couldn't get open, resulting in him taking many sacks, hits, and scrambling to make something happen. Starting off the draft with the 9th pick, I chose to give Justin Fields another weapon, a weapon he out his own mouth has asked for. And that's former college teammate, wide receiver Jackson Smith-Njigba out of The Ohio State. In 2021, Jackson Smith-Njigba was the leader of the best receiving room in college football, with him, Garrett Wilson, and Chris Olave. Garrett Wilson at his own mouth even said that Jackson Smith-Njigba was the best of the trio. Njigba battled hamstring injury in his 2022 season at Ohio State and decided to sit out of the bowl games to prepare for the NFL draft. He's a great route runner in the slot and can find a way to get open and make spectacular catches with great body control. Even though he doesn't have breakaway speed, he has quick feet to shake defenders and have good yards out the catch. Still in the first round of the draft, I decided to move up and trade for the LA Chargers 21st pick, sending the 63rd pick, a 2024 third round pick, and a 2025 second round pick, and draft running back Bijan Robinson. Robinson has it all, the making of being a generational running back with great speed, power, balance. The fields in that backfield will give defensive coordinators and players headaches in the read option game and also open up the field in RPO situations. I know the Bears have Khalil Herbert and Dante Foreman, but what's better than 2 good running backs? 3, especially for. With the 53rd pick, I chose to go with defensive end Tui Tuipulotu out of USC. In his 2022 season, Tuipulotu racked up 13 sacks and will bring a pass rushing presence up front that the Chicago Bears are looking for. With the 61st pick, I drafted Luke Wypler, a center from The Ohio State. Wypler is a top center in this draft. Some will argue he's the best center in the draft. Through his career in college, Wypler has been very good and even done a really good job up against Jalen Carter, who sounds like Mel Kiper has the best overall player in this year's draft. The Bears have struggled at center the last few years, allowing continuous pressure up the middle, leaving the quarterback with a pocket they can step up in and make a good throw. Bringing in Wypler will fill that need and will leave the Bears with a very solid offensive line interior with Nate Davis and Tevin Jenkins. Also have Cody Whitehair there to bring in competition and add depth. You can also kick out Tevin Jenkins to right tackle if needed. With the 103rd and 133rd pick, I chose to go to the trenches on the defensive line. I brought in 2 guys that are prototypical 3 techniques for Matt Eberflus 4-3 scheme. I went with Carl Brooks out of Bowling Green and Kobe Turner from Wake Forest. 2 guys who are very dominant in last season to get into the quarterback and stopping the run. These 2 will bring a lot of athleticism and depth to that defensive line, something the Chicago Bears was missing last year after losing good veterans like Akeem Hicks, Eddie Goldman, Bilal Nichols, and Robert Quinn. With the 136th pick, I added to the secondary. I drafted a big corner from Purdue, Corey Trice, who runs a 4.5 standing at 6'3 with long arms. Trice only allowed 1 catch from press coverage last year. A willing tackler and a player that's still developing at the corner position. It's hard to not see Richard Sherman when you turn on his tape. Good ball skills, and when he gets an interception, he looks to take it to the house every time. With the 148th pick in the 5th round, I chose to go with offensive tackle Nick Salvadori, who only allowed 2 QB pressures and 0 sacks last year from Old Dominion. Last year, Chicago Bears added tackle Byron Jones in the 5th round, coming from a small school. Byron Jones graded as the best offensive tackle of the 2022 season for the Chicago Bears. Bears will look to luck up again and find another good offensive tackle in the mid-rounds. With the 2 7th-round picks, I stayed in the trenches up front. With the defensive line, I chose Johan Tave from San Diego State and offensive tackle Jordan McFadden from Clemson to bring in more depth and competition at both positional needs up front for the Chicago Bears. I hope you enjoyed the video. I will make another one after the 2023 draft. Let me know your thoughts below in the comment section. If you liked the video, please like, subscribe, and check out more of the content. Thanks for watching.